All right, everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking into something I think we all do pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Yawning.
Yeah. Huh.
We always hear that yawning is something to do with, like, getting more oxygen.
Right.
Um,
Turns out that's not really true.
it's not really true.
Yeah.
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 So what is the deal with yawning?
Well, the current leading theory is that yawning is actually all about brain temperature regulation.
Okay, so less about oxygen, more about making sure our brain doesn't overheat.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm already intrigued. How does that work?
So think of your brain kind of like a computer processor, right?
Right.
It's working all the time. It can get overworked. It can even overheat just like a computer can.
Uh-huh.
And yawning is kind of like a cooling fan for your brain.
So it's kind of like our brain's built-in AC.
Exactly.
All
And
right.
there's even research to back this up. One study found that people were twice as likely to yawn when looking at images of summer scenes compared to winter scenes.
Oh.
So when the temperature rises, your brain triggers a yawn to try to cool things down.
That is really interesting. I would never have guessed there was a connection between, like, warmer weather and yawning more.
Yeah.
But wouldn't, like, simply taking a deep breath kind of have the same cooling effect?
You would think so.
Yeah.
But yawning actually involves a much larger intake of air and a more forceful stretching of your jaw muscles, which increases blood flow to the head and allows for a more rapid exchange of warm blood for cooler blood from the lungs.
Huh. Okay, so it's like
a
a
supercharged
supercharged deep breath. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But I have to ask about something that has always kind of perplexed me.
Okay.
Contagious yawning.
Oh, yeah.
Why do we yawn when we see someone else yawning? Is there something to the idea that it's connected to empathy?
Yeah, there definitely is. Research has shown that people who score higher on empathy tests are also more susceptible to contagious yawning. And interestingly, contagious yawning doesn't really happen in young children until they develop a sense of empathy around ages 4 or 5.
So you're telling me if I'm a very empathetic person, I'm more likely to catch a yawn from someone.
It seems that way.
That's so strange. But why?
Well, scientists believe that contagious yawning is linked to something called mirror neurons.
Mirror neurons.
Yeah, these are special neurons that fire both when we do something and when we observe someone else doing the same action.
So I'm watching you yawn, and my mirror neurons are firing as if I'm the one yawning, which then causes me to actually yawn.
That's the idea.
Wow.
So it creates this kind of feedback loop.
That is bizarre.
Yeah.
But how does that connect to empathy?
Well, think about it. Contagious yawning might be like a subconscious way of showing understanding and connection with another person. It's like we're saying, I see you, I get you, without even saying a word.
So it's like we're wired to connect with people, even at the smallest level.
Exactly.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It is.
It's amazing to me how such a simple act like yawning can have such deep, like, biological and social roots. It really makes you appreciate the complexity of the human brain.
For sure. It's a good reminder that even the things that we take for granted often have really fascinating stories behind them.
Well said. Well said. All right. So next time you find yourself yawning, take a moment to consider what might be going on beneath the surface. Maybe it's your brain taking a much-needed break, or maybe it's a subtle sign of connection with someone else. Either way, I think yawning is way more interesting than we give it credit for.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the surprising world of yawning. And as always, stay curious.
Definitely.
All right. See ya.
Bye.